Hi and welcome back. I'm Moshe Gersht, and together we're journeying through the depth and beauty of the Jewish calendar, inspired by teachings from the Zohar, the wisdom of Kabbala, and Chasidut. In this series, we're diving deep into the spiritual significance and practical wisdom behind Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is deeply misunderstood. Most people think of it as a day filled with heaviness, guilt, and regret. And of course, you're sitting around all day without any food, so we don't see it as a great holiday, but it should be mentioned that the Talmud says that this is the best day of the year, that there is no day more good than this. What's the deeper truth behind what's happening on Yom Kippur, and why is it ultimately truly something uplifting, empowering, and really one of the most inspiring days of the year? You see, Yom Kippur is the peak of the spiritual journey that we started on Rosh Hashanah. But contrary to what many of us have been taught, it's not a day of guilt or sadness. It's actually one of the most powerful, beautiful, and meaningful moments of the year. A day devoted entirely to reconnecting to that deep, authentic self we've been speaking about since Rosh Hashanah began. In Hebrew, there's a beautiful phrase describing this moment, panim bepanim, literally meaning face to face. Throughout most of the year, we can get to a place where we feel disconnected, unsure of our direction, and even disconnected from our true self. On Yom Kippur, that separation dissolves. We turn fully inward, face the truth of who we are, face to face. Yom Kippur is the day that the Kohen Gadol would enter the Kodesh HaKodashim, the Holy of Holies in the temple, the most intimate, innermost chamber. Spiritually, the innermost chamber represents your deepest, purest self. On this day, you have direct access to that essential clarity, your divine core, and your higher consciousness. This is the magic of Yom Kippur, moving from the feeling of distant or disconnected, which we called back to back, to this deep intimacy and clarity where now we're facing face to face. So you might wonder why fasting is part of Yom Kippur. Why do I need to not eat to get to know myself or get to know God? So it's not about a punishment or deprivation. In fact, fasting and stepping back from the material comforts in general is a powerful practice that quiets your physical desires and allows your soul, your spiritual self, to come forward more clearly. When we fast, our physical impulses are subdued. It allows us to get some greater spiritual sensitivity and clarity. The quieter the body becomes, the louder and clearer the soul can speak. When your soul becomes the main voice, you gain greater spiritual clarity, sensitivity, and insight. By stepping back from material desires, we quiet the ego. We dissolve harsh judgments and create space to access deeper wisdom. This is really about coming closer to our inner self, which is a place of humility, where we're not ego-driven. But even more deeply, fasting helps us overcome pride, arrogance, and ego. It isn't about physical abstinence as much as it's about gently removing layers of the ego to bring humility, insight, and genuine spiritual connection to ourselves. Like with everything in the Jewish calendar, each of these pieces are a profound invitation. It's asking you, do you want to move beyond the distractions of your physical needs and connect to your spiritual side? About remembering that your deepest identity isn't physical, that your core is spiritual. It's a reminder that you're not defined by your impulses or your mistakes. You are, at your core, pure, worthy, and beautiful. On Yom Kippur, you're encouraged to gently ask yourself, what illusions about myself am I finally ready to release? What deeper truth about myself am I now ready to fully embrace? These reflections can bring clarity, humility, and align you with fully going beyond your ego and your self-limitation. Throughout Yom Kippur, you'll notice the number 5 appearing repeatedly, and this isn't random. In fact, nothing in Judaism is random, and nothing in Torah is random. The number 5 holds profound spiritual significance. The whole day of Yom Kippur is about climbing these 5 stages of our soul that reflect in the 5 areas of prayer, as well as the 5 areas where we hold ourselves back and tap deeper into spirituality. Yom Kippur highlights 5 ascending aspects of the soul, each representing a deeper layer of your consciousness. From the bottom up, the nefesh is your basic life force and physical awareness. Your ruach is your emotional self, where you experience feeling, empathy, and connection. The neshama reflects your intellectual, reflective place of deep insight and clarity. The chaya is your transcendent self, tapping into intuitive wisdom, spiritual insight that goes beyond logic. And the Yechida, the highest part of your consciousness, is your core essence that is pure unity with all that is, where you recognize your fundamental oneness with God, with others, and all of creation. So in parallel, these are the 5 prayers throughout the day. Mariv at night, Shachris in the morning, Musaf, the additional prayer that's unique to special days, Mincha in the afternoon, and finally we have the Ne'ilah prayer, which is the closing prayer when the gates of heaven are said to be wide open, symbolizing the deepest closeness and clarity available to us. These 5 prayers aren't just ritual. They progressively elevate your consciousness, bringing you step by step closer to your highest self. Finally, there are the 5 physical restrictions designed to support this deep spiritual clarity. Fasting, meaning no eating or drinking, moves us beyond physical cravings. No wearing leather shoes, symbolically stepping away from ego and material pride. No washing of our bodies, letting go of external comfort to embrace internal purity. And not anointing ourselves with oils or lotions, releasing superficial comforts to reconnect with our inner essence. And no sensual intimacy, temporarily holding back physical closeness to deepen our spiritual intimacy with yourself and with the divine. Each of these restrictions is not meant to be a punishment. Rather, they're gentle reminders and portals to shift from identifying primarily with your body and ego toward aligning fully with your spiritual self, like angels, fully aware of your true, pure essence. So as you enter Yom Kippur, remember, this day is about coming face to face with your truest self, your deepest inner clarity, and a divine connection that's always available within you. It's not a date to punish yourself, but rather a sacred opportunity to experience how deeply and authentically connected you truly are to yourself, to your highest potential, and to divine clarity. Step into this day gently, openly, and courageously, knowing you're perfectly aligned, supported, and deeply guided. On Yom Kippur, you come face to face with the truth that's been there all along. I'm wishing you profound clarity, deep spiritual connection, and a meaningful experience towards your highest self. Gmar Chatima Tova.